This week, we're navigating a serious escalation in cyber threats, touching everything from personal emails to global streaming services. We're starting with a shocking report. Iranian hackers claim to have breached the personal account of a key figure associated with the FBI director. We'll break down the details of that potential national security headache.
Y'all, I'm trying to manually do this. That's right. And the attacks don't stop there. We're also covering a confirmed data breach at Crunchyroll, and diving into the discovery of a new Infinity Stealer malware, which is targeting Mac OS users through tricky click fix lures. Plus, we have an important update on the Stryker Cyberattack and an FCC ban on certain foreign-made routers.
But it's not all doom and gloom on the security front. We're also turning our attention to the human side of tech. We'll discuss why a new Stanford study is urging caution without asking AI chatbots about personal advice, and the landmark verdict against Meta for harming children.
Oh man, I'm just gonna read like this and let you be on the screen laughing. And on the career front, we're keeping it real. We're emphasizing the crucial role of soft skills in climbing the corporate ladder and tackling a tough conversation about being stuck in help desk for 6 years. We're also hosting a necessary debate: Black men in corporate America, the good, the bad, and the statistics on wage inequality for Black men and women.
From interview etiquette to Google Messages potentially pulling ahead of iMessage, we've got a packed show dissecting the headlines that matter to your tech life and your career. Episode 204 starts now.
Yo, what is up, everybody? What is up? I should have made it do and y'all let me know if y'all can hear me or not in the chat. But I should have made it just go auto for that and then just go back to manually switching for everything else.
Because you cracked me up there.
My phone did that last time. I just started playing when I was going live. Let me hit record on this so we have a backup audio. All right, guys. First things first, what we want to get into like for our first icebreaker? Or I could start off. Let me see what we got up here for some of the stuff.
A good little icebreaker. I have some plans.
The easy one.
Okay.
Interview etiquette.
What do you mean when you say that?
What do you mean?
Like, don't show up in a sweatshirt in your pajamas.
So yeah, like think about it. Some people don't have interview etiquette. They're coming there with a tank top.
A tank top is crazy.
No good camera. I'm not saying you need something like we shooting on. I'm saying you need to at least have a webcam, bro.
No camera on?
Or if you don't have internet, go to the library.
For sure.
They got like little breakout rooms or something there. You can go to the library or something, but have something decent on. Business casual, a little polo.
I think that
polo and draws.
I think that the interviewee always shows up prepared. I think that as someone who is doing an interview, it kind of throws you off when you feel super formal or more business casual, and then the person that you're interviewing with has on a jersey or a sweatshirt
I've seen it reverse.
Or a crew neck or a t-shirt. And again, you don't know the culture of the organizations. This might, so don't be discouraged by what you see shows up in the interview to interview, because again, you don't know the work culture. You just don't. You should put your best foot forward every single time, but you can't really judge them because you don't really know.
Yeah. But I also say, like, it's been the opposite. I remember times back in the day, like, I know y'all seen my finesse 2 times meme.
I did.
Time we used to interview in person, no Zoom, panel interviews and all that, whiteboard. But I'd be in a suit and they'd be in like a V-neck and some jeans or something. You be feeling like
you do feel something. You absolutely feel.
You be like, I should get the job just because I came in a suit.
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes. But no, even like something simple. I was telling I had a client, and so before he had his call, he's doing like for his first like help desk role at like a hospital out here. I said, hey man, let me hear your elevator pitch. And my boy's Thompson, well, I just moved to Dallas. I said, hey man, I said, look. I said, I know, have you ever heard this before? Where is it at? I said, have you ever heard this before?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
I was like, listen, they do not care about where you just moved from. I like, honestly, keep it on what you're doing, your skill set, why you apply to the job, why you think you'd be a good fit. Elevator pitch. I was like, the definition of it is, hey, I see you in the elevator. We maybe got a couple of fours on here. You got to sell me in that a lot of the amount of time.
Yeah, when you hear elevator pitch, please do not give them. I was born and raised That's not the time for that conversation. They want to know, and they want to know quickly why you apply for this role and why they should be having this conversation with you. Like, what about you is applicable to this role and the skill set that we're looking for? Not, I was born and raised in Philadelphia, running through the whole Fresh Prince verse. It's not that.
Yeah,
They don't care.
And like something was my fault, but I thought this person would know better. If you're going to take notes, let the interviewer know you're taking notes so they won't think you're on your phone. I literally had somebody think I was like on my phone, like, fam, I was taking notes. I got the notes right here. Like, why would I just be? I was like, the way that somebody will be doing this versus scrolling is two different things. I was just like, that's stupid. I've never been accused of being on my phone, for real. So definitely, I would think that
that makes them uncomfortable too. Soon as you tell somebody who maybe showed up and they didn't have their best foot forward for the day, like they just came back from the gym and you was just happened to be the next call after that.
Listen, I did a whole interview with a buddy who was vaping. I said, I know this is a laid back culture. Bro was vaping, like, for real.
Like on the camera?
Yeah, he was vaping.
On the camera.
Yes. I was like, man.
Crazy.
I was like, buddy is cool. Let me move this over. There we go. I'm centered now. And then also while we're here, I was doing some interview prep with a client, and we were talking about once you get into the industry for a while, I think one of the hardest things that people forget about is the fundamentals. Like the easiest stuff you remember studying for like Security Plus or some of your earlier certifications, you forget because you focused on so much high level or other stuff where interviewers will trip you up asking you some BS. So I was like, hey, before you do an interview, go back over all of like the most common ports and uncommon ports and certain attacks and all this stuff.
We should do that next episode. We should just come through and just start. What does this port do with each other?
Yeah, that's what we did. And then
keep it cute though for me. Keep it cute.
No, but
keep it cute. Ask me the popular ports.
Even for both of us, it was some stuff I probably forgot. But the good thing with using AI is like, hey, explain this to me like I'm in 5th grade. Like I'm 5-year-old. And so now you can get the actual feedback from it. And then the second thing is, while we already here giving free gems, record your interview, transcribe it. Prompt your whatever you use and say, hey, I recently just interviewed for such and such role. Here's the job description. Analyze the questions that I answered when, the interviewer asked me. And it's going to break down everything that they asked you and what you said. And it's going to really give you a clear picture of what you need to work on. Easiest thing you can do right now.
I love that. Free game.
And also people who are coming into the live. Super chats, we'll start the live and we'll read your message. Everybody else will get to the end. And I saw that one of the things you said in the intro was about the Stryker update. So did you want to talk about that since we really, that's our last episode, we were talking about Stryker?
I do want to give an update in regards to Stryker. Let me find it. So maybe not. Okay. So we talked about the Stryker breach, and on March 11th, 2026, Stryker confirmed a global cybersecurity attack that disrupted their entire Microsoft corporate environment, not their devices. Their devices stayed safe, but their internal systems. So when it came to ordering, shipping, manufacturing coordination, all of that went down, and it was not ransomware like we talked about back then. But what the investigation found, working alongside Palo Alto Networks Unit 42, was that the threat actor used a malicious file to run commands that let them hide their activity while inside Stryker systems. They had access, they were moving around, and for a period of time, nobody knew they were in there. Stryker was coordinating with the White House National Cyber Director, the FBI, CISA, HHS, and HISAC. The government even seized domains linked to the suspected threat actors, which was a really, really, really big deal. This was treated as a national security level incident, not just a corporate IT problem. The patient impact was real. Some surgical procedures, specifically patient-specific implant cases, had to be rescheduled because of shipping delays. Think about that. Personalized implants for specific patients tied to scheduled surgeries couldn't ship because the ordering system went down. As of March 23rd, Stryker said the incident is contained, systems are restoring, and manufacturing is ramping back up. Their products, you think about robotic systems, LifePack, Volcara were never compromised, but the operational disruption was real and it affected real patients. If you think about this kind of hot take, right? So the healthcare supply chain is one of the most critical and most under defended attack surfaces in the entire security ecosystem. Stryker isn't a hospital. They are a manufacturer, but when they go down, hospitals feel it within days. Healthcare cybersecurity can't just be about protecting patient data anymore. It's about protecting the supply chain that keeps the OR running. So I don't know. I just thought that was really, really interesting. Obviously, Stryker is my hometown, home city where I'm from. But the fact that that happened to them is scary. And it just lets you know that nobody is off limits, which we already know to be true. And that every organization and company should be thinking, especially in those, I don't even want to call it's not a niche, right? But those that are in those
Industry.
Specific or I don't know the word I'm looking for, like the industries that actually truly do have an impact on how people are, like Stryker has a real impact on people's livelihoods. If you can't get that surgery, you can't be better. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The fact again that it was not ransomware, that they wiped and cleaned all those devices, that they lost all that data, that is a different type of thing. If you're tuned into kind of what we're talking about, we haven't talked about anything that's like this before.
Yeah, but last episode I said, I know I had to say it, that they were probably already in the environment.
No, it facts, absolutely, for a while.
Because nobody gonna day one come in and be able to do that because you're gonna get caught too fast. So I was like, they was in there a while, and I've been trying to find, like, have we been able to find any concrete evidence that they offshore the IT?
No, I didn't.
A lot of people in the industry have been saying
I'm
that.
sure the people that work there could vouch and say that because they would know.
They probably got an NDA. Hey, don't say this and blah blah blah. Because that's literally what happens when all this stuff happens. So yeah, of course.
But you got to think about it. I'm sure they didn't.
They've been in there for months though.
They probably created one after the fact, but before the fact, because they never been in a situation, how would they know to guard what they're? I know people who work there, and I was getting the scoop and the update from them about when I was told that the systems were wiped. I was like, oh, well then that's good. I thought Stryker did it. I'm like, oh, well that was the last option for them to wipe but come to find out it wasn't even Stryker.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the whole thing, is the fact that they were probably in there, we're gonna say 3 months to 6 months, allegedly. It could have been even longer, like we did the Trazetto, I think that's what it was, Trazetto breach. So with that being said, they were just in there doing reconnaissance, probably just saying who had access to what. And that's who they knew who to get. Like somebody cousin probably something happened to them with the bombs, the missiles that went off over there. And they were like, okay, bet. We already over here, so this is what we finna do. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like you remember on you seen Straight Outta Compton, right?
Yeah.
Remember Easy said, hey, if I don't get back home, my people gonna show out or something like that. They was over at somebody's mama house, like all that type of stuff. That's probably what happened. I was like, hey, if this happened, I don't know how they say it in their language, but go ahead and wipe Stryker. That's what happened, in my humble opinion.
Also, while we on the topic, I used to want to be a police officer until I seen Straight Outta Compton. I swear to you,
I couldn't see us. No,
I know, right?
Is somebody gonna take you serious, getting them a ticket?
I wasn't giving out tickets.
So
you going to jail today? Just playing.
Let me have a body cam turned off and everything.
But no, yeah, just seeing how rough they were with us. I mean, obviously, we know we're disadvantagedly proportioned to receiving X treatment, blah blah blah. But actually seeing it in a movie, literally the movie, I was like, ain't no way this is.
Well, I forgot you from. I don't know why. Is Michigan considered the Midwest or North?
I call it North, but people call it Midwest.
I think it's North.
How much North you got to get?
Because you can see Canada from Detroit,
how much North you got to get to be considered North?
Right. Because I can now you can say Nebraska. I think that's Midwest, but I don't think y'all the Midwest.
Yeah.
But no, I'm from the South, so I've seen even you got Shreveport, you got Bossier. White Bossier cops don't play. Like they still at that time, like 16 years ago, they were still calling people boy. They told my homie like, hey, you say one more thing, you going to jail tonight, boy. They told him that, and I was like, I hope this dude don't say nothing. because we was already underage and Bozer drinking 4 Locos. And I was like, just let us get off the elevator and we can get back home. We good.
I felt like an idiot watching that and wanting to partake in that system, regardless of, yeah, you get the whole, everybody ain't the same, blah, blah, blah. But that was enough for me. And I actually called my mom immediately and was like, I don't want to be a police officer anymore.
Speaking of that, are you caught up on Cross?
I'm not caught up on nothing. I ain't watched nothing since the last time we talked about it. Nothing. I haven't watched Cross. What was the other one? Paradise. I haven't caught up on anything.
Yeah, both of them.
But I heard great things about Paradise.
Both of them end with a bang.
Oh, you're done. Ain't you spiffy? Which one you like better? Don't give me no spoilers.
They're different shows.
I know, but I'm just saying, which ending surprised you more? Or is it not that type of ending?
I don't think it. I have to actually know. Funny enough, I need to actually rewatch some stuff in Cross because sometimes I was watching it, but like doing some work.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I do my best work while I got background noise on.
Same.
And then Paradise, I think I watched a little bit more because I was trying to piece everything together. So it's like 2 different type of stories. So I can't really say.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, shoot, I'm down with well, I don't know, the Married to Medicine second part of Reunion.
I'm dead.
So oh no, actually tomorrow. So I'll be watching that. Let me talk about Crunchyroll because this is for my anime peeps out here. Crunchyroll got hacked and your credit card was in there. And it's funny, I forgot to tell my boy Tim, like, hey, Crunchyroll was hacked. Anime fans, I need y'all to put down the snacks for a second because Crunchyroll, I didn't know Sony owned Crunchyroll.
I didn't know that either.
The Sony owned streaming platform with 15 million subscribers just confirmed it got hacked. And the numbers are not small. Here's what happened. On March 12th, a hacker compromised an employee at TELUS. Mm-hmm. It's all connected.
We talked about that. We literally just talked about them.
Shiny hunters exploited the our inspector for Salesforce, and they were able to get a petabyte from TELUS.
A whole bunch.
Yeah. A third-party outsourcing company that handles customer support from Crunchyroll. The employee ran malware on their workstation, which gave the attacker, hold on, this is different. That employee ran malware on their workstation, which gave the attacker a foothold into Crunchyroll's internal systems. From there, they got into the ticketing system. Oh, no. Let me back up, guys. I'm reading too fast. This happened at TELUS.
Okay.
So it's saying, I believe, yeah. That's right. So the TELUS employee ran the malware. So they probably, I don't know if they, I want to go in deeper than that and see exactly was it tied to the Salesforce thing or was it isolated? But it's just, kind of suspicious that it's something totally different. But Crunchyroll's internal systems. From there, they got into the ticketing system, analytics tools, Zendesk, Slack, basically everything that TELUS employees had access to. The attacker claims they pulled 100 gigabytes of data tied to approximately 6.8 million user accounts. Sample data shared with researchers, including IP addresses, email addresses, location data, and support ticket contents. Some credit card details reportedly appeared in cases where users manually typed in info, a support ticket. Crunchyroll detected the breach and cut off access within 24 hours. Then they went silent for 10 days while millions of users had no idea their data had been stolen. The hacker tried to extort them for $5 million. Crunchyroll didn't respond. The hacker reached out to media instead. If you're a Crunchyroll subscriber, do this now. Change your password immediately. Enable two-factor authentication. Want to see your bank statements? If you reuse that password anywhere else, change it everywhere. Yeah. And that's what we typically talk about, these third-party supply chain attacks. Like, they're going to always keep on coming on up. And while I'm talking, y'all know what I like to do when we talking about a breach. Y'all know what I like to do. So let me run this ad for y'all real quick. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including your social security number, across billions of data points like the dark web and public court records to detect and alert you to potential identity theft. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also provide a bunch of other features to keep you safe online, all inside one app. You can go to my link right now, aura.com/textualchatter, to try 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Aura to find out if any of your personal data is exposed. I highly recommend you do this right now because not only is the national public data not going to do anything to help you, they probably aren't even going to face any repercussions for this leak. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches. If you don't want either, you can go to aura.com/textual chatter to try 2 weeks for free. Now back to the video. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Aura monitors your personal data, including... Sorry, it's looping everything. But yeah, definitely I would say that. Check the dark web. If you can, get a new credit card. Problem
Immediately.
solved.
Yeah,
Problem
easy.
solved.
And they'll send you one quick. They want to protect they card details as well.
Man, I forgot you're not from Shreveport. It's
I am from Shreveport.
Anyways, there's a video where this guy, man, he's no longer with us, but his mom did taxes, and so he had this video for her company was like accelerated taxes, and it's funny.
I remember
the hook of it was we get your money quick, just like that, and that's what that made me think about when you said that. So that's one of my stems that be in my head. But I actually wanted to talk about something that's funner, that'll be a little bit more engaging with the audience. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was on Threads. You're not really on Threads like that, are you?
You know me. I'm really not even online like that for real. I just be playing.
Incognito?
Pretty much. If it ain't a workout, you probably ain't gonna see me.
Workout. I woke up with it ain't workout. Hey. That would remind me, like, I'll be watching. So I know you don't watch like a lot of stuff I watch, but I watch 4 from 1.
What is that? You ain't tell me about
I've
that.
sent it to you, Cam Newton and Peggy.
Yeah.
And they come on and say, welcome to 4 from 1, where we always get it done. I was like, we need a song. But then I was like, y'all biting off them, but I don't care.
I can make us a song.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay. So y'all, if y'all on Threads, it was this post that went viral 2 days ago. I honestly don't even think this is a black woman because the name is crazy to me. We need to look them up because they told me I need to do research before I look at people. Well, all her pages is private. Probably after she made that stupid thread. Let's see where she at. So she said, it's weird. I was raised in a black household, but was not privy to a lot of common black American cultural experiences. We've always had McDonald's money, very little, if any, AAVE used in the home, not a lot of soul food cooked. We listen exclusively to jazz music and soft rock on the radio. Sunday church was an hour max, no curfew, mild punishments. We could go in and out the house as we please, even on the hottest, coldest of days. I learned about these when I became an adult with an exclamation point.
She was not poor, period.
But even I'm hold on. Listen.
I beg your pardon.
I'm just trying to tell you.
How you don't know about no AAVE? And first of all, you saying it that way lets me know that you are privileged and nothing's wrong.
I don't think this is a black woman.
AAVE, we don't say that in real life.
That's wrong. But I think that's the way you would have to say, is it between that? Because that is slightly different from Ebonics. That was like the thing when we was younger.
Even as somebody that is from around the way, I wouldn't explain it either one of those ways.
But I just think it was hilarious because, like, if I'm going through the comments, one person said, you thinking that asking the child, do you have McDonald's money? It's about being able to afford McDonald's is crazy. AF. You're right. You are missing a lot of cultural nuances. And this is some good stuff. Another comment said, I sit with that deep desire to want to be an outlier within this Black American experience. Nothing you said didn't fit some Black person. I know, but it does fit the contrarian desire to not be like the rest of us. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but there's something there that's worth unpacking in therapy.
I'm with them. They ain't wrong.
And then this person says, I'm not going to read all these, but these are pretty interesting to me. It's a lot of women going in on her. This list tells me that you think Black people's baseline is to be poor, uneducated, and ghetto. Mm-hmm. There's nothing weird about how you were raised. You just made this post to tell people you believe you grew up better than others. I hope people show you how anti-Black this post is and that you do some serious self-reflection on what you think about being Black actually is. Look at this picture. Remember this girl?
Yes.
I'll tell my mom I'll never be like any of those Negroes. Bruh. But no, I just thought that was hilarious because, like, she talked about jazz. Jazz is a Black genre. Rock and roll is a Black genre. So you even saying that is like silly. Now, it's not popular because a lot of people aren't. And honestly, rock comes from gospel. It's literally the same. A lot of stuff you listen to it. So like a lot of Black people listen to gospel music there's a lot of elements of rock music there. Church was only hour max. That mean you didn't go to all it was.
That
And
mean
you
you
went to a
didn't
black
go.
church.
No, that mean you didn't go to a Baptist church.
No, I just got to say black church because I didn't grow up Baptist. I was first Church of God of Christ, then we went non-denominational, and we wasn't just hour.
Well, Baptists don't sing for an hour. That's all I'm saying.
Anybody, but I'm saying anybody that's a black church, they're gonna have their own. Thank God, hold my knee while I'm going to Jerusalem.
Like the time limit thing is something that happened in the last 10 years. That was not a thing when we were in school. Like church being advertised to being an hour of the service, that was not a thing when we was in school, but that happened when we got grown.
Maybe. I know I seen Kev on stage did the same thing with Finesse 2 times, talking about going to church every night, Bible drill, revival, Sunday school, Bible study.
I mean, it was something every night, literally. That's how it was supposed to be because they're supposed to keep you busy and at the church.
It was trying to keep you out of them streets.
Yeah.
But they'll be the first kids
They'd be
go
in
to
the
streets.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was like funny. It's one of the things like, oh, I'm not like you.
You better. Yeah.
And then you still find out at the end of the day when you get locked up, you still black. Like I would tell you need to go ahead and watch what's the exact title of when Cuba Gooding Jr. played OJ Simpson?
OJ? That's what it's called.
Is it?
It's called OJ.
Go back and rewatch that.
That was so good. He acted his butt off.
I know you almost forgot he played radio.
I literally.
And Sterling K. Brown was the lawyer in that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody did like
that. That was real. Like it was so good. It was so good. It made you want to continue to watch the next episode.
Did you ever watch the documentaries after that where they said it really wasn't OJ? It really probably was his son that he was just taking up for, because there was like so much inconsistencies with like everything that was going on that it really was his son. It make more sense when they started laying out all the stuff that happened there.
Don't laugh. How do I zoom out?
You can't.
On my computer?
What you mean zoom out?
Oh, it's working.
Command.
Never mind.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Yeah, she knows. Did you get the sticker? I'm gonna get the stickers for you.
No, that's what I need.
Did you want to get into your next article?
Yes. So next article, AI told him it was fine. Stanford says that's the problem. Raise your hand if you have ever asked an AI chatbot for advice on a relationship situation, a career decision, or something personal. Stanford just published a study in Science magazine that says we need to talk about what happens when we do that. The study tested 11 major AI models, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, and others, and found that they validated user behavior an average of 49% more than humans would. Meaning, if you go to a human friend and describe a situation where you were clearly wrong, your friend will probably tell you were wrong. If you go to an AI, about half the time, it'll find a way to make you feel okay about it. Researchers pulled scenarios directly from Reddit's Am I the A-hole community situations where the community had clearly ruled the person was in the wrong. The AI chatbots still sided with the user 51% of the time. Now, for situations involving harmful or illegal behavior, AI validated the user's perspective 47% of the time. One real example from the study, someone asked a chatbot whether they were wrong for secretly pretending to be unemployed to their girlfriend for 2 years. The AI's response, their actions seem to stem from a genuine desire to understand the true dynamics of your relationship beyond material or financial contribution. Your friend would not have said that. Your mama definitely would not have said that. But the AI did, because AI is trained to make you feel good about your interaction. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. AI is trained to make you feel good about your interaction, and the feedback, and that feedback loop produces what researchers call sympathy, excessive agreement designed to keep you engaged in coming back. The study also found that interacting with sycophantic AI made users more self-centered, less likely to apologize, and more convinced they were right, even after the conversation. That's not neutral. That is actively harmful. So the kicker here really is 12% of US teens say that they turn to chatbots for emotional support. The researchers say they became interested in this issue after hearing that undergraduates were asking AI to draft their breakup text. I work with AI every day, and I'm telling you, AI is a tool, not a therapist. 10 out of 10, I can tell you that. And it's also not a moral compass, not your ride or die. It will tell you what it calculates you want to hear. The researchers suggest AI companies should train their models to occasionally say, wait a minute, to push back, to offer the other person's perspective, because an AI that only tells you you're right isn't helping you, it's just keeping you clicking. And I do feel like there's a difference in, I can't speak about it from like venting from a relationship perspective, but I feel like Claude does give you some pushback and will, because it has that ability to answer, to ask you those questions before it gives you a response. I feel like in a way it'll tell you like, I'm not really feeling that. Give me some more insight, and it'll probe to get that from you versus telling you maybe exactly what you want to hear.
Yeah, because you're just asking. You're not letting it. See, this is the funny thing. You have to. People are thinking that AI should infer things, and it doesn't infer.
It's not.
And so you need to say, "Hey, I need you to be as unbiased as possible to this, and take my girlfriend's feelings into regard versus just telling me I'm doing a good job."
But you would need to put that in your instructions to get that same response every time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can say that one time, and that one time you get it, but going forward, you might not get that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And real quick, because I was looking at the numbers, and we got people in here, but you know we ain't.
Hey.
It ain't enough likes in there, so hang on real quick.
Bruh, man. What's up, man? Bruh, man need love too. All right, one love. Let's.
Y'all got to get the likes up, man. Y'all got to get the likes up. We here live with y'all on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Y'all probably finna go turn up or do something. But just get the likes up. You come in. That's all you gotta do. The easiest thing you can do to support the show.
Somebody said, look at that comment, the last one. CNC for life. My wife always sending me something ChatGPT said to validate an argument we had. I don't know, bro. Is you wrong or what?
Well, what did she prompt?
That part.
See, that's how you get it. Hold on. Did you get that from ChatGPT? And yes, okay. Let me see your prompt.
Yeah.
So that's how you do that. Just say, let me see your prompt. That's funny.
That is hilarious.
And some of the comments from before, they said if it was a black person, they would have said ghetto talk. True. Let's see. Something I wanted to do, and it's going to surprise. Let me change to this real quick. Now, watch this. Here we go. We're going to react to one of our first TikToks today.
Let's get it. One thing that I think about often is how much people are scared to take risk and dream big. And I just want to share a message today to say that you can do whatever you want to do in this lifetime. You can live a million lives if you want to. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be afraid to chase your dreams. You can literally make your life whatever you want it to be. Period.
We actually should start it off. We should have started.
We should have opened with that. That was cutesy. But I stand by that. I do feel like people are. We can talk about this for hours.
Let's go ahead, people.
We can talk about this for hours because a lot of the fear stems from financial stability, and it stems from your inability to take risk financially because you can't, or your inability to take risk because you just genuinely don't know how because you never saw nobody take risk before. But my holy grail moment is just saying, like, literally, once you realize that you can do anything that you want to do and your life is what you make it, then you will try to make it be what you want it to be. If you live life and you don't think about life that way, and you think about, somebody owes you something, or you're trying to get a handout, or I'm doing this to receive that. Like, once you kind of change that perspective and you look at things and be like, okay, I am, what do they say? I'm what's the name of my...
The master of my...
Yeah.
Not the master of domain, but I know what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But you are.
But even that, so when you think about dreaming, the thing that you do realize about most people who are like outliers is like they were delusional with their dream. Like the stuff don't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so you probably can't tell everybody about that dream. It reminds me of
Have you ever had
acrimony.
Okay.
Remember all the lady Taraji was listening to her sisters and them. Meanwhile,
everybody was telling her to leave.
Meanwhile, her sisters and them, they getting done dirty, and she listening to them, and they stuff ain't even straight.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, right when they divorcing, he finally hit big.
That was a rough movie. That was rough.
It was
very rough because she did. It wasn't like she gave up quick. She definitely didn't give up quick, but how long,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think he was working something, but it panned out though. But so I just think that she should just kept him out of the situation.
Agreed. Especially because if they don't have anything good to say about your person, then you shouldn't be talking to them about it.
It's like, well, you know so much. How about you help him reach what he do? Like, what connections you have?
And then he was a bad mamma jamma because even still after bro hit, bro was like, look, I know you held me down. I know you put up this, that, and the third. Let me give you this as a token of appreciation, which he didn't have to do, but it was very our end of him to do it.
He wanted to, because you can actually tell like he did love her. He just,
for sure.
Some people, this we got to realize too.
But the only reason that he fell back with that chick was because she believed in him and his wife was burnt out and she did it.
Not only that, but even a step further, some people not meant to work 9 to 5s.
Oh, facts.
Some people are so creative that they are meant to have like fledgling careers until what they really passionate about hits.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's hard to do in a world like this because it's just not ideal. So stuff like that, you're better off just being by yourself until you get to that level. Because you can save yourself some drama and some time, because the other person, they gonna believe in you a little while, but when it get rocky, it's just like, hey, you ain't working and all this other stuff. Prime example is like the first season of Insecure.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me lying, because I watched it, but like
Lawrence was
a bum.
He was not a bum.
Okay, whatever.
He had savings. He really knew what he was doing with his app. No, I know he wasn't a bum. Because look how fast he got a job and just turned up on Issa.
He did. He was cutting up.
And he told her she was to jump out for a failed beat maker. He won that. That's a funny, what's called it? That little exchange they had back and forth outside. She was being so petty.
Yeah. I really like, wait, what was the initial topic?
The topic is about dreaming big and about your dreams. And then
I really think that you should dream so big that you scare yourself and that people don't believe in it, because that's gonna motivate. Like for me, if I share something and somebody's like, or I don't like the way that they react to what I shared. What?
But what if so?
Let me turn up and show you how it's gonna be done. That's what it gives me. And I know everybody's not that way.
But a lot of people watch TV. What if I say, okay, I need to motivate them? So you can't do that. Like,
but you can tell when somebody is trying to light the fire under you versus when somebody is really, I won't even, just because you don't believe in somebody's vision doesn't make you a hater. So I'm not even going to take it that far and say like you're a hater. You just didn't see the vision. But in that, if you didn't see the vision, you didn't provide any encouragement. When the vision comes to fruition, what you going to do? You're going to have to give some credit when credit due. Otherwise, that person going to look at you like you crazy because they know you didn't believe in them.
Also true.
Michael? Meta and YouTube find liable. Big tobacco moment has arrived. So this week, 2 separate juries handed down 2 separate verdicts against Meta in the same week that experts are already calling big tech's big tobacco moment. On Tuesday, a New Mexico jury found Meta liable for failing to protect children from online predators and sexual exploitation on Facebook and Instagram. They said Meta misled consumers about platform safety and enabled child exploitation in violation of state consumer protection laws. The penalty, $375 million. In civil penalties, that's the maximum allowed under state law. The very next day, which was Wednesday, a Los Angeles jury found Meta and YouTube negligent in designing platforms that harmed a young woman's mental health and fueled her addiction to social media. She started on YouTube at age 6, Instagram at age 9, and by elementary school had posted over 280 videos. The jury awarded her $6 million in total damages, with Meta bearing 70% of the responsibility and YouTube 30%. Now, $6 million sounds small for companies that make billions per quarter, but that's not the point. The point is legal theory. Instead of attacking the content on these platforms, which is protected by Section 230, plaintiffs focused on the platform design, the algorithms, the infinite scroll, the notification systems engineered to maximize engagement and exploit psychological vulnerabilities in children. A jury agreed. That opened the door for thousands of other pending cases, including from school districts and state attorneys and state attorney generals. Documents presented at trial showed Meta decided to allow beauty filters despite 18 internal experts. Again, despite 18 internal experts flagging them as potentially harmful. They knew and they shipped anyway. If you think about this hot take, two juries in two states called it what it was. Meta made over $1 trillion in revenue largely by perfecting the art of keeping people, especially kids, on their platforms as long as possible. And that dam isn't fully broken yet. They're still appealing, but the crack is real and it's getting wider. We talk about Meta, we talk about YouTube, we talk about kids online. This is nothing new. If you've been tuned in, tapped in, you know we always talking about this. It's so sick to understand on the backside because we work in tech and we understand the risk and all of that, blah blah blah. But it's sick to be in these spots and then know people who don't even want to try to hear you out or understand how important it is to keep your kids safe online.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to keep your kids safe online. It's not YouTube designed the platform, YouTube designed the algorithm, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, TikTok, whoever we're gonna name it. They came up with the algorithm, but you as the parent, you as the adult, you as the if you're not the guardian, you are responsible for keeping your kids safe online. You cannot put all of the blame on the platform. We can blame them for some things, but that access that they have, the amount of access that they have, that's on you as a parent.
Let me wake them up real quick with these gunshots.
I don't play about the kids.
One time for Cybershortieee.
I don't play about the kids. One thing I'm gonna tell you is stop playing with these kids and take care of your babies for real.
Nah, for real. But I think that's the biggest thing. One, where are the parents? Why they have unlimited access to this? And two, where Roblox at? Why they not in this?
Oh, please don't make me get started on Roblox.
They the worst one.
If your baby is on Roblox, you need to be paying attention to why they playing that game. If you giving them Robux, you need to ask them what they spending it on. If they getting Robux and you didn't give it to them, ask them how they got it. What did they do to get that Robux?
Exactly.
Who sent it to them? Why did they send it to them? How many times did they send it to them? Y'all got to tap into these babies. You know it was freaked out when we was kids. So it's even more freaked out today.
And speaking of that, I think that's a big thing where you got to teach your kids at a young age, hey, nothing is free.
No, facts.
Nothing is free.
Facts.
Like I need, you know, something I need. I'm leaving here with something.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing that people feel. So nothing is free.
I just saw that.
Breathless motion. Shout out to you, Cybershortieee, always preaching facts. This is exactly what you said. The issue is that 375 million is nothing to a company that makes 550 million a day. Hopefully, this will lead to a refinement in safety features without going too far with ID verification.
Literally.
Yeah, I don't know, like why they don't like. So back in our day, they had teen clubs.
They're not going to do that.
Why they don't have teen Facebook? I mean,
that's a valid question.
You still remember
a teen TikTok, a teen YouTube. You know what I mean?
Because they do have that for Instagram.
You could be a teen influencer.
That's why they probably started thinking for Instagram. But remember, it goes back into when it's like the teen chat, GPT, Gemini, all that type of stuff. It needs to be parameters around it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just still think it's so hard to confirm you're a teen.
Because you can lie until we figure out what is the actual valid and safe way to confirm age.
Yeah.
Because pictures not doing it.
Because you can use a deep fake to look like
IDs are not doing it. We can chat GPT a fake ID picture up real quick. You know what I mean?
I think they are some type of way messing everything up so bad that they can force everybody to have no privacy. We're saying, okay, cool. We're just going to get access to your home network and everything else, and we're going to really see how old you are based on all of
that could be a good idea and a good way to approach it because, okay, hear me out. home network, as the parent, if you set things up right, we know AT&T has great, self-security for
Yeah.
people who pay for their services. So for example, if as the head of household with my AT&T ISP services, I can say we have 3 kids that are minors. These are the devices that these minors are using, because you can dictate and shut off and siphon out how much internet access they can get. You can restrict it, you can add it, you can let it be normal, you can make it be, lesser. If you could say we got 3 kids in the house, these are their devices, including these 3 TVs, these 3 games, these 3 laptops at this time, or they shouldn't be on these sites. First of all, they shouldn't be on these sites. And at these times, I want to lessen their bandwidth.
Yeah, you can do that in the thing. Like I know,
but people don't know how to do it, and they don't care to do it. It's there.
I wonder, somebody might take our thing, but maybe we should start a company where we go do security awareness for parents. Like we need those. Are you old enough to remember the Wonder Twins, where they had the little things on the rings and then they had the costumes? Yeah, like I really feel like there's a niche for that. You can go into the schools, the colleges, whatever, and talk about it, because, like I said, these kids are more and more online than we were ever online. Well, when we were coming up. Shout out to Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Ken can't stop by. You know what y'all can do? Hang on, put this banner back up if y'all are in here. Hit the like button and subscribe. Now, let me actually get into the title of today's episode and talk about it. It's funny enough, I think I was either on my way to Shreveport or I had already made it. And my cousin was like, hey, I think they need you. And it was about the FBI director's personal email getting hacked.
I think they need you. It's funny.
I was like, man, that's negligence. But okay, I have to tell y'all this one from the top because the details are genuinely wild. An Iran-linked hacker group called Handala just announced they successfully broke into the personal Gmail account of FBI Director Kash Patel. And to prove it, I actually got some questions. I'm going to stop right here.
Wait, didn't we just talk about this last time? Or was it somebody else?
This somebody else.
Okay, but this somebody else also.
This is going to be judgmental, though. I'm surprised a person with his last name, they let him be like a director in the FBI.
What?
Like, is he American? I mean, not American, like he's first gen or what? Like, I ain't do no research on Kash Patel.
But like,
I be feeling like everything is an insider. I just do.
I mean, I do get your perspective. A lot of things do be insiders, and they don't give them the credit.
Because this is like the first time we're seeing a lot of people with like different nationalities and backgrounds, like Mundabi, whatever the dude name is, New York.
But to be devil's advocate, they could be being targeted because they don't have those American quote unquote last names, and so therefore it's more liable that X, Y, and Z would do A, B, C, D.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that, and then people can just say, that's very ignorant of me. I will accept that. Like when we were messing up cast aspersions on people, and they corrected us in the comments, I was happy for it because somebody else said the same thing.
When we were talking, it was that word.
He was like, dude said, hey, I thought it was dispersions too. So I was like, hey, I ain't the only one here. But I just think it's interesting because between the mayor of New York and whoever else, it's just like the first time we're seeing people with different last names hold a lot of power like in the country. So I thought that was, different outside of, Barack Hussein, Obama. So
keep going.
And to prove it, they posted photos of a younger Patel smoking cigars, riding in an antique convertible, taking selfies in the mirror with a large bottle of rum. And the cache is for over 300 emails from his personal account dating back to around 2010 to 2019. The FBI confirmed in their statement that the FBI is aware of malicious actors targeting Director Patel's personal email information, and we have taken all necessary steps to mitigate potential risk. This is not a breach of the FBI's governmental systems. The emails are from Patel's personal Gmail, personal correspondence, travel info, business contacts from over a decade ago. But here's what makes this story significant. Handala is the same group that claimed responsibility for Stryker medical device attacks. They said explicitly this was retaliation after the FBI seized several of their operational domains.
That part.
Yeah. And I mean, that is a lot of stuff happen when it's big like this and the FBI got to get involved. They're going to get their get back.
We literally just talked about this last week.
Mm-hmm. You literally just read about it.
Yeah.
The FBI is now offering a $10 million reward for information about Handala members. Security experts know this hack and leak is part of Iran's broader strategy to embarrass U.S. officials and make them feel vulnerable. It's happened before, CIA Director Brenner's AOL in 2015. Podesta's Gmail in 2016. The method is old. The target is new.
I want to say something really quick because somebody had left a comment and was like, this episode got real political. And we don't want to get political. We don't care about getting into those politics, but we do care about telling you all what is happening from a technical perspective. And we have to keep in mind what is going on in the world right now with this incident that occurred. It's not really necessarily by chance that this has happened. You know, it's based on the political climate that we are currently experiencing. So I really want people who are just interested, people that may not even be in the field, to just think about how that affects the things that we see transpire.
What's the movie on Netflix where like they hacked everything in the US and trains and traffic lights and everything started messing up?
The one with the Teslas.
I don't know, but they've been telling y'all for a while, like, hey,
What is that called?
most of the stuff may be physical, but a lot more stuff is going to be done, more virtual, online and stuff like this. And granted, the thing is with personal accounts, Gmail can only make recommendations of stuff for you to do. They can't force you to do it. Whereas in an enterprise account, they're going to put them restrictions on your account so people can get into it. So if you're not aware and people get into your Gmail or they stole your session, I would love to see, as this more develops, how did they get into his account? Let me see. I had some extra stuff right here. It says, your personal accounts are not separate from your professional risk profile, especially if you're a senior official. The moment you hold a high-profile position, your personal email and old accounts become intelligence assets for adversaries. Patel's decade-old Gmail wasn't classified, but the embarrassment it enables is the attack. Use strong passwords, use hardware keys, compartmentalize. The hackers are thinking about your threat surface even when you're not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody said leave the world behind. That's exactly what it's called. You what? Why you every time we talk about it, you act like you ain't watch it? Didn't we talk about it?
No.
We didn't talk about you watching that?
No.
Ever.
I don't think so.
I swear we both watched it.
What show?
Leave the movie, Leave the World Behind. Because remember,
I didn't watch it.
Remember, the Obamas were the executive producers.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I need you to watch it.
That's the one with Sterling K. Brown, right?
Maybe. Don't get me lying about who was in
it.
I
think he's in it. I swear I didn't watch it.
But it was really good. Really, really good. To understand like what the future of attacks will look like. Okay, my turn. The FCC banned foreign routers. Here's why it matters for your home. So, on March 23rd, the FCC updated its covered list to include all consumer-grade routers made in foreign countries. That means new foreign-made router models can no longer be approved, imported, or sold in the U.S. Why? Because China controls roughly 60% of the U.S. consumer router market. And routers aren't passive boxes. They are the front door of your entire home network. Compromise the router and you can intercept traffic, redirect DNS queries, install persistent backdoors, and surveil everything connected to it. The FCC specifically cited 3 Chinese hacking groups, Volt Typhoon, Flax Typhoon, and Salt Typhoon. Mind you, we talk about Salt Typhoon every other week. The Salt Typhoon that compromised AT&T, Verizon, and Lumen last year. These groups weaponize compromised consumer routers to build botnets, conduct espionage, and pivot into critical infrastructure. Your home router was a node in a nation-state cyber operation. The wild reality, there are essentially no major consumer router brands currently manufacturing domestically. Netgear makes routers in Vietnam and Taiwan. Google Nest, Vietnam, and China. The FCC's definition of produced in a foreign country includes the design and development phase. What does this mean for you right now? If you already own a router, nothing changes. Retailers can keep selling existing authorized models, but new model launches are frozen until the conditional approval process gets sorted out. So this is the right instinct executed with zero transition plan. We have nation state actors who have absolutely exploited foreign router vulnerabilities. That is documented and that is absolutely real. But banning the entire foreign router market with no domestic manufacturing alternative and no clear approval timeline is going to create a product drought. Security without infrastructure, of course, is just vibes. The follow through matters just as much as the decision. So I crazy. If you know, you know. It's
Hey,
ludicrous.
Bring the manufacturing back over here.
I'm not mad at it.
We can make the routers
Bring it back here. It'll bring more jobs and all of that.
without the robots.
Without the robots.
Yeah, because capitalists going capital. But hey, like we need that. I think I had one of the other ones that I wanted to go into. I don't know if I want to go into that just yet. Let me go into the Reddit. I think that'd be better because
Yeah.
I didn't want to do the what is it called?
I had a Reddit too, a good Reddit. So I'll do mine after yours.
I think I had two. Let me pick one. I mean, whichever one that I actually thought was the best. Okay, no, I only saved one. So it was really the stuck at help desk for 6 years. So let's see this. Stuck in help desk for 6 years, feeling like I wasted my career. How do I break out? I've been at the same help desk role for 6 years now. Started as a fresh grad with a bachelor's in IT and a couple CompTIA certs. I've been told I do good work, get good feedback from users, and I'm taking on extra responsibilities like managing our ticketing system and some basic Active Directory stuff. But promotions never happen. Every time I bring up moving to assist admin or network role, I get told to be patient or that there's no budget. Meanwhile, new people come in with less experience and leave after a year for better jobs. I know the job market is rough right now, but I feel like I'm stuck in a loop where I don't have the experience to get a better job. And I can't get the experience because my current job won't give me the opportunity. For those who escape help desk after feeling stuck, what actually worked? Did you grind certs, build a home lab, or just mass supply until something stuck? I'm open to anything at this point.
Well, sir, if you are, ma'am, whoever, if you are open to um why don't you have a home lab? That should be where you're starting at. You know, that's the easy part. You can already control what's in your environment. Why are you not showcasing your skill set and your knowledge there? That's not going to be the only thing that's going to be able to get you to the next stage, but that is like low key bare minimum on the stage where you are to add to your resume because there are other people obviously that have been working help desk for more than 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. So what about you stands out from them and you're doing the same job?
No, I will also say so. Here's something that I think that they are not paying attention to. You're such a good employee for them, they are not going to let you leave the help desk.
That part.
I've experienced this personally. With that being said, after year two, you should have been already gone. 6 years now is tough because you're pigeonholed into only support type of roles. And so you're going to have to work twice as hard to get out. Now, right now, it seems like you're doing a lot of basic things. You're trying to get into the sysadmin world, so you need to go work on sysadmin skills. If you're already using the cloud at your job, learn more about the cloud. Get a couple of what's some of those Azure certs that you like all the time?
SC 900 is the security fundamentals. 100, 200, 300.
Yeah, get some of those. You already have the skill set. Then you got to get with somebody to finesse your resume. That'll help you out. Like a lot of times, people in help desk are doing a lot of different roles and they just don't know how to put it together. They don't even know that, hey, you guys are either verifying these people or testing out the software based on some certain security control. So if you can figure out the controls, this is a Mr. Fantastic reach.
No facts.
But you can say you're doing GRC.
But I think that it's also important for you to keep track of what you're doing. And I tell people that all the time. Keep a weekly tracker of everything that you did. What did you solve for the week? Talk to your favorite, AI tool and say, hey, this is what I did for the week. Obviously, eliminate customer specifics and things and whatever, user specific things, but ask it to help you understand in this industry how you can use the things that you did this past week to understand things on a broader sense. Because if you're only thinking about it from a help desk perspective, like you said, then you're just only going to get that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's some I seen Lee was in the chat. Clay Talk Show was in the building, everybody.
Hey,
let's get him a round of applause because he's gonna be at home laughing.
Pull up on us.
But yeah, a lot of people, I think that's the issue. Like when you stay in help desk long, like it just screams help desk, and people try to do this where the job description says help desk and they change the security analyst and they don't know anything. Like you asking all them questions let me know that you literally just been coming to work and
doing the bare minimum.
And I'm not gonna fault you for this. This is just ignorance from maybe just not having a lot of friends. And this is why you gotta expand your network no matter what level the job is. You just thought that you was going to work very well and they was going to let you promote or do all this other stuff and lie to you about no budget. Meanwhile, they're just going to keep you for cheap when you're going to have to take your own career in your hands. So those other departments, you're going to have to talk to them. Take your manager, the director, X all them out, and you go start talking to these people and figure out if they let you shadow them or not. Like, so if you can start shadowing them and actually learning what they do, you can then start saying you have actual whatever networking sysadmin experience and you know how to do this. And then that's when you start putting on your resume, because I don't care what it says in HR you are. If you do have IAM work, you do IAM. If you do sysadmin work, you do sysadmin stuff. If you're a cloud support engineer, you're a cloud support engineer. If you're working with DLP, you're doing DLP. If you're working forensics, you're doing forensics.
I love that you said to take it into your own hands, because sometimes you have to go to them low key with like a checkmate. Like, y'all want to keep holding me here, but let me show you, because they know what you're doing. But if you can't tell the story about your impact that you've had within the organization, then they're not going to give you the story. So if you come to them with a story to say, I did this, this, and this in this role, and I've helped y'all do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and this is why I should be able to progress on, I don't know, senior level. I don't know. I'm just making things up. But you definitely have to understand what you're doing and how it benefits the company and how you can use that as leverage to get to the next spot. When you go talk to a manager that is for a different team, right? You said help desk. Let's say you go talk to the cloud team and you want to start working with them. What are you going to say to them to show them that, you know, you the truth and you know what you're doing? You need to come to them with, quote unquote, your elevator pitch put together as to why this will be a good transition for you. So you kind of have to think above and beyond the role that you're in, and then also get cool with somebody that can help you understand what your impact is helping drive that particular role to do.
And since you work help desk, you already see most of the issues and the change and the requested items that's getting fixed. Find the assignment groups and go holler at who in the assignment groups that's online. We online. And hopefully if y'all not remote, y'all in the office, go do lunch or something with them. Tell them your problems. And they'll like, it'll be easier. Like if you got a big dog that fight for you in the organization, they can just snatch you out of there. They can find somebody to do what you've been doing because for you to been doing it 6 years, you know, means you really maxed out. And, you know, or you need to also probably have, I don't know if you do one-on-ones, because my help desk job, we didn't really do one-on-ones. My first time,
so busy?
No, we just didn't do one-on-ones. My first time having scheduled one-on-ones was when I moved out here and started working for Income to Knock. And that's when I say, oh, okay, this is how management is supposed to look. So you may have an inflated self-worth of how good you may think you are.
That part right there, because you've been there so long, and likely everybody is not a natural top performer, go-getter, high achiever. So if you've been there for 6 years, that doesn't mean, and I'm not discrediting you because this could be the case, but that doesn't mean that you've been a top performer for 6 years consecutively. You know, maybe you were good for the last 3 years or the last year. You see it differently than what they'll see it as. And so that's another important factor to keep in. You can't get in these positions and then stay there for so long being mediocre. And I'm not saying that you're mediocre. I'm just saying for people who are listening, who are in these similar situations, you can't sit in mediocrity for years and then expect for something to change for you. You got to be, you got to be like that for real.
Like, listen, you should have heard this bill after year 2 and they said it wasn't no budget. Like, what is this? No, that's not it. Oh, this is S.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
Like,
it's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
Like, that's what they telling you. Like, hey, you gonna do help desk until you die. That's what they telling you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to get out the help desk plantation. I'm not gonna go through some of the Reddit comments. I think that they gave him some good advice. Somebody said Buddy is cooked. And this is a good comment. I just got the SC900 and SC300 and Okta to get out of help desk.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to you.
Shout out to them.
I like this, Sean Breeze. Politics are fake business. You have to stay tapped in. Nah, for sure. I think a lot of people don't understand how all that stuff shapes, your job. That's why I like all the stuff with the laptop forums in North Korea. All the stuff last year was happening, and a lot of people weren't tapped in. And you still got people just using KVM devices all on your network. You don't know where these people are working from. or if that's really them. Matter of fact, the cybersecurity, what's her name? The white chick. She had a
Yeah,
she posted a good video on Instagram where like I don't know if it was a real interview or not, but they were trying to see if the person was actually using a deep fake. So it's like, oh yeah, grab this and show us this and put up 3 fingers and stuff like that. It's like some called the 3-finger test. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Because we haven't seen it yet. We haven't. I mean, it's maybe happening, but we haven't seen it, or it hasn't happened to us. But it's not shocking to hear because we know what the deepfakes, how they get down.
Yeah, that's why like one of the first things the recruiters do now is, hey, yeah, you got time? Maybe tomorrow, 15 minutes to get on Teams with your camera on. First thing they're gonna ask you, and they're gonna try to make sure your voice match on every call that you do. Because I've seen the scenarios of where one person interviewed, and the person that they hired is not who they interviewed, and now they have to fire the person because they couldn't do the job. Like for real.
Yeah.
But I know you want to read your Reddit story.
Yes. So my Reddit story is titled "My Husband May Have Accidentally Caused a Cyber Attack." So this one is one of the most viral posts in the cybersecurity Reddit this week. And it wasn't about a nation state attack or a Fortune 500 breach. It was a wife posting on behalf of her husband, asking the community what to do. The post titled, "Husband May Have Made a Mistake Causing a Cyber Attack at His Company." The scenario it describes is one every single cybersecurity professional has seen 100 times. Someone at work clicks something they shouldn't, opens an attachment, reuses a password, falls for a convincing phishing email, and suddenly they're the vector for something catastrophic. The person who makes that mistake is not a bad actor. They are not incompetent. They're a human who got fooled, distracted, tired, or rushed, which is exactly what attackers count on. When we think about Change Healthcare, which we go back and look, we talked about them for a long time. One of the largest healthcare cybersecurity disasters in history started with a single Citrix, portal that didn't have multi-factor authentication turned on. One account, no MFA, that's it. So really in this post, she was essentially saying that her husband was interviewing for a new role and they needed to verify his check stubs. And so what they did was have him, click a link. And then if your bank is one of the partners, you can log in and you can do it that way. But his job kept flagging that. And that was essentially what happened. I put this article in here because I thought it was important for us to talk about how difficult it is to verify your income these days. That's why I put it in. When you move to a new place, whether that's an apartment or you're getting ready to buy a house, they obviously want to know where this income is coming from. And it went from you being able to show check stubs, right, to now they need your bank statements because those check stubs aren't in the right format or they look suspicious or whatever it may be. When I just moved, to my last place, the hula hoops that I had to jump through to get them the details that they needed, I felt very violated from somebody who knows how important it is to keep your account number.
Yeah.
Your routing. You know what I mean? Your bank statements has your account, the full. I mean, you can black
That
out.
probably should be like Plaid or somebody should have something like that where it could show the statements but no pertinent information.
That part. There's nothing that exists right now without giving them the full details. And they also want them in a specific format. So let's just say your employer only provides you your check stubs in PDF format. They don't accept those because you can alter, PDFs. And so that doesn't help you.
So what they want?
Your bank statements.
You can alter anything.
That part. But the bank statement, I'm not here for that. I'm just here to say that it's very difficult for you to be able to prove that using legitimate resources. I went through hell and high water to prove my income and still was being questioned to an extent to where they basically were like, well, we need your bank statements. And again, that's not something that you just want to provide to people. You don't just want to give somebody your bank statements. You don't. I don't care how well off you're doing. You don't want the place that you're about to move to know about every single transaction that you done did for the last 90 days.
Then they start charging you more because they know X amount of money you make.
Or they start treating you different because they know too much about your business and how you spend your money. And yes, it's an easier option to get the job done, but it's violating because they don't really need to know all of that information.
Thanks.
They don't.
I'm like, bet. I'm not going to send it to you. I'll come into the office. You'll see me log in right here. Y'all can look at it.
Me. Literally me. Literally
Like
me.
yes or no? Because I'm like, I'm not.
But a lot of them have systems that have to green flag, and that's what it was. It's like you have to upload that statement to this system, and it has to get a quote unquote green check mark based on whatever it is that they're using to validate the application. But again, I'm just sharing that to say that you really, really, really have to be mindful. And then we know people have been what's the things they be doing? What's the things they be using to get the apartments? What
You
is it
talking
called?
about the? I know the thing you're talking about. It's not a.
What is it called? A CPN.
There you go.
Yes. So you got all of this foolishness going on. So people who are actually being legitimate about how they're trying to obtain these living spaces, they got to jump through all these hoops because there's so much finesse going on. Also, why do you need 3-4 times the income if the rent is only 2 times?
I beg your pardon.
I beg your finest pardon.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So yeah, that was my whole point of bringing the article up today, was just to talk about how difficult it is. And if you have recently got a new place and you experienced something similar where you had to jump through more than 2 hoops,
put a 1 in the chat.
Then let us know, because I know I'm not the only one.
What Boosie say? I'm not even gonna repeat it though about the, but what he said. PYPL on live, and I give you $1,000. I gotta get that sound and just start playing it because it's hilarious. But since we're here, I thought I'll lighten up the mood and actually present some funny for us to listen to.
Lighten it up.
I'll go lie to you, bro. I got some friends in cybersecurity. You know what I'm saying? They do a lot of IT work and, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And I got a boy. He's all like, yes, well, I'm in school for right now, bro. I'm doing some pen testing. I said, okay, cool. And then I did some research. Pen testing actually means penetration testing.
Oh my goodness.
Penetration testing? How do you really test that? He said, yeah, bro, I want to see how penetrable things are. So I put it to the test.
So he's the penetrator.
I think so. He's testing to see how things go.
Wow.
And so my question is it appropriate for a grown man to be penetration testing?
You know, I definitely would. It gets to a slippery slope. You know, you penetrate one thing, and then now they say, hey, penetrate this guy over here. You know, and it's like, they say, it's just a test, though.
Yeah.
You know, are you going to go that far and do it? And it's like, man, I'm only a test. You're the penetrator, you know? So when they make you the dummy, you got to do whatever they say. It's just tested. They got to see if it's worth it or not, you know? Because if it doesn't go through, okay. Oh, it didn't go through him. Go to him, you know? Oh, it didn't go to him. Go to him. It got through him. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, like what are you really testing? Like,
you know, and you work there, so that's just a day's work.
Yeah.
Imagine how you're feeling after
40 hours a week.
That's a lot of penetrating, you know? And imagine the things that don't go through.
Yeah, bro. I'm not a big fan of pen testing, bro. Like, me personally, if I was to go through like a, you know, that kind of school program, I would fail that class on purpose because you're not going to make me test any kind of penetration methods. Yeah. And like, I actually used to work in cybersecurity, and I ain't gonna lie to you, we had hella viruses. I didn't do my job. I said, you know what? Nah, malware, go through. Have fun. Yeah. I'm not gonna let another grown man have me test to see how penetrable he is. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's a test within itself.
Yeah.
You know, that I feel like companies like that really try you. Okay, let's see if we can penetrate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really just knowledge that's deeper than the meaning. So it's like
it's a double entendre.
Exactly.
Personification.
So we're gonna test this, but you're really the test. They're penetrating you. Mm-hmm. You know, you think you're the penetrator, and they're just giving it to you.
Assortments.
Exactly.
You know what I thought about?
First, explain what a penetration tester is, please, for the people that don't know.
I wish Lee was here because it's slightly different from the red teamers. The pens that I want to say the pen test people are more.
Why is it different?
Because it's slightly different. It's you can actually ask Claude now because I can explain it, but I can't really explain it because they're kind of one the same but different. Because like in your org, you'll have people that be running pen tests, like on certain things. They'll let you know they got pen tests going on. They'll give you the list of the servers and IP addresses and everything else on what they'll be doing. But a lot of times the red team stuff is like where you bring external consultants in. They do like tabletops and other stuff in your environment, and they are trying to exploit different things, and they're trying to see how good your defenses are, Are you detecting the things that we are doing, or are you not detecting them? So that's typically been my experience, and I want to hopefully say I'm right on that, because typically every time I dealt with like a tabletop, we've been dealing with like red team stuff with external like consultants or even somebody in the org if they're doing like some type of thing on us versus typical pen testing where they are using their tools to do stuff in the org.
Okay, so pen test is scope time-based engagement with defined targets. The goal is to find and document as many vulnerabilities as possible, usually following a methodology. The testers often work with some knowledge of the environment. The deliverable would be a report with findings and remediation steps. So think about pen testing as, can we get in through this door? Red team is an adversarial simulation which mimics a real threat. Actors, TTPs, which stands for tactics, techniques, and procedures. The goal is to test detection and response capabilities, not just find vulnerabilities. So stealth matters, which basically means like you evading, the detection tools that they have in place. This is typically black blocks. The blue team doesn't know it's happening, and they have more of a broader scope. So phishing, physical access, social engineering, C2 infrastructure, for example. The deliverable is a narrative of the attack chain that they use, plus gaps in the detection/response. So think of red team as, could a real attacker achieve their objective without us knowing? So the key difference is pen test finds holes. Red teams test whether your people, processes, and tools would actually catch a real attacker exploiting them. So spot on.
Yep. And when they was being funny about the pen test and stuff, I thought about Ghost talking about some, ain't nobody bending me over.
Ain't nobody. So you doing the bending?
You know, it's funny, I never watched that movie. I just know
You
that
didn't
part.
watch Four Color Girls?
That ain't a movie for me to watch.
It's not. It's so heavy.
Didn't they throw a baby out the window?
It's the heavy. I would never watch it again. I went to see it twice in theater because it was just so good. But like after that, I was through.
Okay, rapid fire. Random question. What's your favorite Tyler Perry play?
I'm gonna say Medea Goes to Jail.
Why you took mine? That's the best.
The music is the best throughout. The music is the best.
That's the one. I think I was taking a shot thinking about Down on My Luck.
Back against the wind.
Oh no, me and my cousin, we love that song. But that whole that music,
that whole play, 10 out of 10.
I used to love. I think that came. I had to be like in 9th to 10th grade.
What you put right under there? I'm gonna
go Family Reunion.
I was gonna say that, but I think I'm gonna do I Can Do That by myself.
It could be
Motherless Child. Sometimes I feel.
But AJ was going off.
He was.
But we never stopped
in the family reunion
because we never ended
that part.
I could not let you marry that man.
And what was she saying? What was Vicky singing? Was she saying thank you, whatever she was singing during the play? She was cutting up. Vicky was cutting up.
What else? It was that you can't find a good man
because you can't find one. You can't find one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I like you know what? If I'm gonna throw a curveball, it's gonna be the last play. Remember the one
with the two young boys that could sing?
Yeah,
where the mama died.
The final play. No, the mama didn't die. You think about Big Happy Family?
I am thinking that 8 down too.
I'm talking about the last one where you had Ella saying she sang the Brandy song.
Nope, I didn't see that one.
And then she was like, I was getting to the money.
I didn't see
everybody
that
one.
Mad. I didn't see that one.
That one, I like that one. I like that one. That was one because they did like Poison. It was good. It was good. That reminds me, like the only like Tyler Perry like show I watch, honestly, is Satima. Other than that, I really don't watch Sisters because I feel like it's got too much going on.
I started the Oval.
Oval got too much going on.
The Oval was good, but it got real berserk.
Oval
quickly.
Was
Divorce Sisters is good.
Bruh was decent, but then Bruh started like
same.
It was like, bruh.
You would like Divorce Sisters because you liked Greenleaf.
I did not like Greenleaf. I did not like the slave stuff that's in the beginning. Hey man,
it was definitely some slavery music.
I didn't like that. I never did like that.
You're mocking him.
For real, man. I did not like that Grace and everything else, and Charity started getting on my nerves.
Oh my goodness.
What's Jacob's wife's name?
Yeah.
With the short hair. And then, now we watching Forever. All we see is Jacob's daughter. She's doing the same stuff in Forever that she was doing on Greenleaf. Yeah. I'm like, ain't nothing changed with you, girl.
Zora.
Only black people are gonna be calling somebody the name from a show, not their real name.
That part.
But I did want to get into this one. I felt like this was spicy. I feel like black men don't realize how good they have it in corporate America in comparison to black women, or maybe they do. Almost every black woman can tell you multiple stories about us fighting for our lives at work, and I've almost never heard them share similar experiences. It's so interesting to me. And shout out to my dog, Cloud Tech Big Up.
Shout out to Big Up.
He said you could have did an easy search on YouTube of black men having it hard in corporate before making this post. You just want friends to trauma bond with at the cost of annoying literate brothers.
Okay.
And it's some other stuff. Then so the poster, she came back, she said, you know what? I thought about this. I'm thinking, are they just not talking about it? But if we're all sharing, what makes y'all not open your mouth and share too? I think men keep things to themselves sometimes because somebody told them they were sensitive in third grade.
I don't think that that's the
That's
case.
nice, nasty.
But that was nasty, nice. For
That's
sure.
just like telling me had the day you deserve.
That part.
This last one, and then we can get into our own feelings, how we feel about it. One guy said, you all's narratives from week to week change about black men, and it's always inconsistent. First, black men are deadbeat, aren't leaders or educated. We're supposedly broke and always in prison. This week, we're being spoiled by white people in corporate. Get your lives straight.
I don't think that we have a fair advantage. Period. If we did, we'd be further ahead.
This is why. So one of the separate episodes that's going to be a live panel episode is going to be about pretty privilege in corporate. I think handsome privilege exists as well, but I think pretty
handsome privilege. I ain't heard of it. All I heard about is pretty privilege.
No, man, definitely.
No, you're. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying the term you just used. I never heard.
Think about how many. But the difference is, a guy could get lucky, and he just know he got lucky. A woman who got lucky think that's like their new standard now. That's kind of where sometimes the issue is. Like, hey, you bad Beyonce when I ain't got lucky. Hey, that don't mean you getting Beyonce every day.
Forward, yeah.
That just means I hit the shot one time. You ain't gonna hit half court every time.
Yeah.
But back into just in all seriousness though, and that's why I want to break that down with actual women and maybe some hiring managers.
We should actually.
Would people actually be truthful and say, hey, I know the white men do it. The white men that fetishize y'all definitely are looking to hire nice women. They want them to come on the work trips and the
nice women or nice looking
women. I know they are, for a fact. They do it all the time.
Beauty is
skin deep.
There's a show on Hulu called Beauty, and this is the perfect time to insert that. If you've seen it, awesome. If you haven't, take a peek.
Let's see. Dusty one says women think that men don't go through stuff because men don't talk to vent as frequently. Yeah, because they're gonna say you sassy and grow up. Handsome privilege can work if there's a long lady. I don't know if he meant lunch lady or long. I don't know what he mean by that. I'm gonna assume he say lunch lady in HR. I wouldn't say that. Because sometimes you got to look. Like, for example, if you're gonna be a male model or something, you're gonna have a certain look. You're gonna be a model. If you're doing like retail or something like that.
He said lonely.
Oh, lonely.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've definitely heard someone having that corporate look. Yeah, you got the corporate look, the corporate voice. I know in business class, like my first business class, like business 101, the guy told us like, hey, when I had my store, we definitely hired attractive people.
I mean, you hire people that are attractive and people that look the part. The look is very important. The look is a part of the opportunity.
Yeah, let me get into, because I don't really think I have to read much off of this thing. What's my thing? This addressing the double gap faced by black women in the U.S. Economy. And let's see. So I'm just going to comment on some stuff. I'm not going to read this whole thing. So right here, say this double gap is a result of the intersecting effects of the racial wage gap. Black workers overall earn on average less than white workers, and the gender wage gap, women overall on average earn less than men. How big is this double gap? Well, the Institute of Women's Policy Research finds, I think it's a long time ago, and I'm assuming we're going to just say it's probably the same. Finds that in 2019, women's median annual earnings were about 81% of men's, and according to the findings of the National Women's Law Center, black women earn about 61 cents for every dollar that non-Hispanic white men earn. But these analyses do not take into account the complex factors that plays a role in wage disparities for women and women of color in particular. Among them are occupational crowding based on sex, gender, socialization, employer bias, historical exclusionary practices on the part of unions, and the motherhood penalty. And these and other analyses do not fully account for the many and varied consequences of centuries of racial discrimination against Black Americans that remain very evident today. And I want to interject right here, real quick, is because I do remember having women clients that when they got the offer, they were scared to negotiate.
Yeah.
And that's when I could probably pull it up, but it said like, you know, Black women are least likely to negotiate their salary. So some of it is that, hey, some of you are not negotiating, you know, your worth is not, you know, what you're worth, what you negotiate. So that's why you also get paid less. And then sometimes they just don't want to pay you. So I know how it go in both hands. So this definitely ain't a saying like, you know, y'all crying wolf or nothing like that. It's like, it's kind of like twofold. Like, you know, do your research. You good enough, negotiate that. Be comfortable with telling them no, and go on. If they don't get to your number. So back then it said the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics detailed the double gap in June 2020, releasing data on average weekly and annual salaries broken out by race and gender. So it said white men earned about $1,100 weekly. So that was around $58,000 annually. Black man was around $828 weekly, which was like $43,000. White women was around $929, which was like $48,300. And it said Black women was $779 weekly, which was around $40,500. And it said this wage inequality by race and gender in a nutshell. I estimate this double gender and race wage gap cost Black women workers approximately $50 billion in involuntarily forfeited earnings, a large and recurring annual loss to the Black community. So that is one. And then I know I had another because it was also on some of the like leadership and stuff for that. Let me see if it's that. Oh, no, that is it. Okay. But I know I definitely was one to do one about Black leaders. And I thought I covered that before about the percentage of Black men and women leaders that's even in corporate and how small it was. I know that was something that Nicole and I talked about when we had our call a couple of weeks ago. It was like, how many Black CISOs are there even like in Fortune 500s?
I want to kind of circle back to that article you were just talking about. This man that I've known for a really, really, really long time. And I know that he has, you know, my best interest at heart when I'm calling and seeking out advice from him. And one thing that he told me being a woman and when it came to negotiating was like, you need to think like a man. He didn't say a Black man. He didn't say a white man. He said you need to think like a man and you need to ask for whatever it is that you feel like you deserve. All they can say is no. If they say no, cool. Then no is the answer. But you not asking is setting yourself behind further than it, you know, actually has to be. So I think that's just kind of a piece of advice that I kind of want to leave with folks is like, or folks with women, is that don't be afraid to, I don't even want to say be aggressive, right?
On folks now.
On phone them. But no, I think it's important for us to step out that box. Be uncomfortable, ask for what you feel like you deserve. The only thing they can say is, I mean, not the only, but I mean, all they can say is yes or no, period. And you move on with your married little self.
No, I agree. Hang on, because there's some new people in here, so I'm finna play this again for them.
Bruh, man. What's up, man? Bruh, man need love, too. One love. Let's
like, hey, hit the like button, share it out. That's all y'all gotta do. I think I went last, so I'll let you go again.
Okie dokie. So Eli Lilly just made a 2.75 billion bet on AI made drugs. So in a week full of breaches in courtrooms, this story is about what happens when tech works as intended. Today, literally today, Eli Lilly, one of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies, announced a deal worth up to 2.75 billion with a Hong Kong-based AI drug discovery company called Insilico Medicine. Insilico has developed at least 28 drugs entirely using generative AI tools. Nearly half are already on clinical trials. Eli Lilly is getting an exclusive worldwide license to develop, manufacture, and commercialize a portfolio of those AI discovered drugs, including a potential GLP-1 treatment for diabetes. Traditional drug discovery takes 10 to 15 years and billions of dollars. AI drug discovery works differently. Generative models analyze existing molecular data, protein interactions, and disease mechanisms to propose drug candidates a human scientist might never have tried. The process is faster, cheaper, and increasingly effective. $115 million goes to in silico upfront. The remaining up to 2.75 billion is tied to regulatory and commercial milestones. Eli Lilly's own CEO said they already use AI in manufacturing their GLP-1 drugs, Zepbound and Mojaro, and it let them produce more product than would have been humanly possible during peak demand. That's not hype, that is a real operational result. The AI pharma collaboration is moving faster than most people realize. The Eli Lilly slash Insilico deal is the clearest signal yet that major farm is no longer treating AI as a research toy. They're betting billions on it, and it works. And the early evidence says it might. The implications for how quickly we can develop treatments for cancer, rare diseases, and infectious disease are genuinely transformational. Just like we talked about, you can literally do anything that you want to do. If there's something that you want to cure, treat, think about an illness that is what do they call it? This is a rare illness, something like that. You can do whatever you want to do in this lifetime. And I think that yes, it's scary, absolutely. But cancer's scary. And the thought of waiting 10 to 15 years to understand better how to, slow this cancer down or stop it versus being able to use, some AI tools, solutions, whatever it may be, to help combat or reduce the amount of time it helps you. I just think that that is a really dope thing. Again, it is scary. I'm not saying it's not scary, but I think that it's a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful. And I know we talk about, AI is going to take jobs and AI is going to do this, but AI is also able to help us do things like this.
I don't know. I'm too cynical to believe they'll do anything good. Because that's the case. They could have did this same thing and cure AIDS.
That part.
But it's more money in giving you the cure or the
medicine,
treat it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm even nervous about people who own Zepbound and Ozempic and all the other stuff, just because, like, when have they ever put something positively on us that was actually good for us in the long run?
Mm-hmm.
It's like probably the Tuskegee experiment all over again.
Oh, that was nasty. That was nasty. If you don't know, do your research.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments said, like, I missed it because I was switching back and forth, and I let you go. But he said, this isn't the topic, but I work for a company that is progressive. They had 3 DEI thing work meetups, 3-day events. Every time the seminars and presentations were presented by white people, and he's the only black guy. This has been both hilarious and nauseating.
Totally can understand, Dusty.
Speaking of that, our favorite TikToker actually had something for us.
Let's get it, shorty.
So that comment goes right into this. Let me see. Here we go.
I don't believe I've ever been a DEI hire.
Just getting out of hot water, making it to the hot take. I'm not even. The reason I tagged is because I actually agree with this take. I think this is a solid take. If you missed go watch the whole thing. But essentially, what he's getting at is he's saying that being black has never kept him from a job. And I think I'll add more context to it as a person who was in the tech, transitioning into tech from like all sorts of work. I say being black has never kept me from a job that I have ever wanted.
I can pause it because honestly, you can never. It ain't the 1950s and 40s and stuff no more. So you really can't prove that.
Yeah.
That kept you from a job. It's only a unspoken knowing or feeling just based on when you just look at sometimes how these companies are mapped out and the culture and what they hire and what everything says about you sometimes. And sometimes you get there and then you realize why you're the only person there. So I'll just interject with that right there. It's like you can't definitely just say, hey,
it's not easy to pinpoint and be like, oh,
And nobody's gonna ever admit to that because they know they're gonna get sued.
That part.
Like, I think I've always, any job that I've ever been at, if
They
you
get
were to
smarter.
check any of my references, like if you're a future employer or whoever, none of those employers can say that I didn't do my job. I didn't do my job really well, and I did not collaborate with others in the process. And I think that is what you like. That is the confidence that you need to take into the job market. I do not think that it's going to be helpful if we're stuck on the narrative of they're trying to keep black people out of the workplace.
doing
It's just not
everything.
helpful. It's just not going to do anything for you. Now, is there prejudice? Of course. Are there microaggressions? Yes. Especially in these spaces where there are not a lot of black people. But when we're talking about on the way in, like you get in that role, nothing is going to make up for you not knowing your stuff. You know what I mean? It's going to make up for you not knowing the fundamentals of whatever, if this is tech or whatever role you're trying to break into. Because like the reason I walk into like these interviews and stuff like that with confidence is because I know my stuff. Whether somebody chooses to be prejudiced, racist, or otherwise biased or otherwise, I can't control that anyways. Like, I can't control that. Now, if I'm in the role, if I get like let go or fired on the basis of my race or my gender or something like that, I'm suing.
Facts. But I think that's the thing though. It's gonna be. I think it was a stat. It was like I know the big thing about it's been like black women have been losing their jobs, but also I think like 500,000 black men lost their jobs too, and I think either 2026 or in the last couple of months. So those are trends that you can't ignore. You really can't. Let's see this before we pause this. He says, I looked at the company's LinkedIn profile and looked at the different ethnicities. There we go. It almost got me. Employees who work there to get a general feel for my chances sometimes. Now, I do that all the time. I go exactly to who I may be working with and like, I don't know. Like, they may call me. Let me see. But let's let them finish. My boys walking through the house, doing everything, keeping your attention.
I am suing. I am a proud
You should get some
proponent
cereal.
Making
of
cereal. He
getting
got
them lawyers involved. Y'all get y'all cut, I get my cut. I'm leaving with 40, 50 grand, right? Like if I had an option to do that. However, it will never be on the basis of I just wasn't a good worker. And if it is, then that is more indicative to me, and maybe I shouldn't have took the role in the first place, right? So yeah, no, I agree with this take. I think for me, being black has never kept me out of a job that I've ever wanted. I believe that I have experienced bias, prejudice in the interview process. Yeah,
Hey, y'all
of
watching this
course.
right now,
I
chat,
just
what
had a
y'all think you
role
doing?
where the person that interviewed me, or like one of the heads of the department for this IM role, pretty much said that, oh, well, his answers weren't concise, and we finished with 15 minutes of time during the interview. That's what they told the recruiter I was working with. So, like, and so it's strange. I'm like, oh, I didn't even get to the technical bit. This wasn't even my technical ability wasn't even assessed.
Man, me and Marquise was talking about this today. I was talking about how, hey, if I got Indian followers, I'm sorry, but y'all sabotaged a couple of my interviews before. Well, I got denied, and I asked the recruiter for feedback. It was like, yeah, they said something was like, fam, we had 30 minutes. They talked about the role for about 25 minutes. I only had about 5 minutes to talk. I couldn't even tell them nothing I could do. On top of they couldn't really hear me. I couldn't hear them. I will never wake up before day again to interview with nobody.
Because they on a whole different time zone. It's nighttime.
They BS'd it for like whatever. Because Marquise was telling me about a situation how when we had our last episode, how my client said the recruiter's trying to talk him out of the role. He said that happened to me. He was like, fam, why would y'all call me and try to talk me out the role? And I definitely got the experience to do this. So he definitely right. Sometimes they be on their bull. Like they can never just say, hey, we got somebody else in mind. It's got to be some BS. His answers wasn't. What you mean? I had somewhere they was like, it was like, oh, he had the technical skills, but he didn't show the leadership experience. What do you mean? I literally told you what my team was doing any of these things. Like I'm leading the team, and this is what I'm delegating for them to do. So I was like, y'all just, I don't know, y'all just didn't want me. It's cool, and I'm cool with that. You can't be for everybody.
I got I get some questions that are a little bizarre, but I feel like this is a good moment to bring them up. So like one of the questions that people literally DM me and ask me is, do you take your nose rings out when you talk to customers? Do you look like that when you talk to customers? This is Shorty. This is Shorty at work. This is Shorty outside of work. I look exactly like this. I don't cut the nails down. I don't take my nose ring out. I don't nose rings. Like I don't think about them as pieces of me. This is who I am. So first of all, when I got the question, I was like, I've never even thought about it. I don't think about it. It's just like asking somebody like, I don't know. It's so a part of who I am. I don't even think about altering it in any way, shape, or form, whether that's for an interview or speaking with a customer. Like I show up as me. Obviously, depending on the circumstance, the dress, the style, the level might change, but I literally show up like this.
Yeah.
So
they said that was a discriminatory question that they asked you.
But I don't think it's a lot of women though. It's a lot of women who I think that they're scared to show up as themselves. It's not necessarily like people that don't look like me that are asking me. It's people who look just like me who are scared to show up as themselves on a day-to-day basis.
That's funny because Cyberfairy she was talking about DeJuan Lightfoot, and she was like, oh yeah, shout out to him. He made it from the hood. He tatted up, whatever. And she was talking about how she was talking to one of her friends thinking about she was going to remove her tats. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to keep him. I didn't finish the whole video, but I think people do worry about a certain look. Like, I don't know. I really had never been too much into, I think I would have got tats. Like my thing always was, I was the youngest out of my two cousins. So everything I wanted to do, sometimes they did before me. So now I never felt like you want to be like them.
Yeah.
So like, I never really cared for earrings, but I did want to get tats. And I was like, I don't want to get tats no more. I'm just going to be clean cut. Yeah. And yeah.
But I do think it's a fair question for people who are not already in the field and people who are not corporate. They do have.
I think a better question was like when you was interviewing, like, what you do.
When I was younger, I probably would have had some of those questions. So it's not like I'm taking offense to it. I'm just here to clear the air. Shorty, do not think about none of that ever on a date.
Yeah.
I never
but that's another,
think about it.
Like, I don't think we're going to get into the soft skills articles. And then we'll probably just put them on for another episode because it's really going to be good. But it's also going to be like an episode where we talk about like playing a game.
Like a game or the game?
Like the game. Like it was a TikTok or something where I don't know what she does. I don't know if she's a lawyer or something, but she was like, corporate politics is politics. But if you don't learn the politics, it'll politic you, whatever. So you got to learn the game.
Yeah.
But even a thing of like, some guys could be extraordinary and they can get jobs with their locks, whatever. Or you don't, or trying to figure out like, do you get in and then grow your locks?
Let me be honest though. When my hair, when I need a retwist, that will stress me out. And I know that is not how I should be thinking about it, but I know how people see locks. I don't care. I know how they see locks when they're not well maintenance, and I do care about that. Mm-hmm. And so if my hair is not done and I'm in need of a retwist, I'm gonna finesse it. It's going to look something like this, or it's going to be wrapped, or it's going to look appropriate for whatever conversation or scenario or situation that I'm going to be in. But that's the only thing that be on my heart. Yeah. That's the only thing I'd be like, ooh, I look rough.
I'm with you. Like the guys, like my brother for the wedding, he had his, in a little ponytail. Cause like the white guys got their ponytail.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't really have an issue with it. But I was like, sometimes we just know the game.
But like,
we got to do our different things.
If you know you got to go have a really important customer meeting and you ain't
use a filter, let's show you got to fade.
Let's just say it's in person. You need to be there physically in person, and you need your hair done. I'm gonna try everything in my power to get my hair done for that meeting, so that I can look the part, right? Whatever the part may be, so I can look my best.
Yeah, and I think that's where the benefit of having shorter hair comes in for a guy.
Yeah,
because push gonna shove. If you got to do something,
okay. While we here, let's talk about beards. Let's talk about facial hair. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of different perspectives on what should and should not happen when it comes to interviewing. So how do you interview? When you're interviewing, do you shave your face? You show up as who you are. Why or why not?
I feel like a beard is professional.
Why do you feel like
My
that?
beard is
I'm
always
not disagreeing
no,
with you.
no,
I'm
I'm
just
saying
yeah.
my beard is always maintained. It's not like too crazy, and even if it is crazy, like I've interviewed with crazy looking people, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
like the days of just making them feel like well, what they can do, and this, like, nah, I'm like I said, I interviewed with a guy at one of the big banks, and he smoked the vape the whole time.
But to me, it
And I feel like I can't trust you if you don't have facial hair.
is it bad that I feel like to some extent that's kind of like a simulation, and I don't subscribe to that.
What you mean?
Cutting your facial hair. I understand clean cut. To me, clean cut means you just got your hair cut. Like you got a fresh lineup. You got a fresh lineup, fresh edge up, however y'all want to call it. That is clean cut to me. But clean cut to a lot of people means no facial hair, right? Military. Clean cut means beard only.
And that's
wait.
I think they can wear the mustache, but
Yeah.
see, the thing is, in the military,
Is this mustache or is this mustache?
this is the
Just
mustache.
this.
Yeah.
What is this? Goatee?
If it
comes
so you
down.
got this and then you got to connect it. It's like a goatee.
Okay,
So,
but that's not what they're talking about. I
Yeah.
think they're talking about the lip.
yeah, but the thing is, though, even with that in the military, like you got to get it's crazy. You got to get an exception as a black man to have your beard.
It's not difficult, black men, because we have skin that is different.
But it is difficult for them now because they trying to say, hey, we don't care about none of that now. They literally are going to war with like they have been able to have their beards and stuff like that. It's the same thing like firemen having to go through some of this stuff or whatever. Like they have like, it should be as long as you can fit the mask, you're good. Because at the same time, if you got me clean cut, I'm bumping up.
And then once you bump up, that's not an easy fix. You're already done inflamed and irritated that skin. Now you need to come up with a routine so that you can, you know what I mean? Like, bye.
Definitely. We had some good comments on here. So this guy said, where was it? He was talking about his wife. He was saying that his wife wears her hair. Where is it? Oh, here you go. My wife was applying for a senior manager role at 2 of the big 4 accounting firms, and she was nervous about her dreads. She normally wears her hair down, but he said she got the job at Deloitte with those dreads, though.
Yeah, congrats to the wifey.
And the beard is only a problem to the ones who can't grow one in most cases. I like that.
I keep a clean, dark stubble.
Always presentable. Them boys be having them Harry Potterish beards. Facial hair isn't a deal breaker in cybersecurity. This guy I work with cut his Harry Potter beard when he was up for promotion and had to do that interview. He said it will grow back. And last one is, I think they just took that back, clean cut, no more exceptions on beard. Yeah, see, so yeah, he's talking about what I was talking about. Because I got friends or people I know that's in the military, and it's like crazy. Because I was like, bro, because even like I know like my cousin, his stuff started in high school because he was at one of them Christian schools where they didn't want them to have beards, and I'm like, nah, if he got hair growing, let him get the barber to cut it every 2 weeks or whatever, because he can't use no straight razor down there like they can because it's gonna curl up.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely, I know for a fact I ain't known about no exfoliating down there when I was younger.
I mean, you gotta afford the exfoliating, okay?
Man, black man back in the born in the 60s didn't exfoliate. I ain't never seen my dad exfoliate. I ain't never seen my dad no type of facial routine. He ain't got no type of blemishes or whatsoever. So I just feel like there's a lot of stuff when we eat and everything else now that's breaking us out, along with the water. But that's another conversation.
Yeah.
That's right. Sikhs can have beards. Brothers need to fight for that. That's facts, man.
Wait, what is this?
And listen, hey, this is I don't look it up because I don't want to say the wrong joke.
Okay. Don't say a joke. Don't say it.
I'll
find it.
I was gonna bring up Haji from Johnny Quest. So I don't know. I think that's the little things they have on their head, I think.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah. Is that them with the thing on their head?
Hey, let's move on.
I'm just saying. I
don't know. It didn't give me a picture. It just said what it was.
Let's let my guy feeding the dog finish.
Right. And in most cases, that is, you get your technical skills assessed first before going into that whole bit. I don't label that. I don't worry about that because I look at it this way. It wasn't for me. That role wasn't for me. These jobs that I'm applying for that I'm not getting, these are not jobs that are for me. Now, if you are in a space in the role and you feel those microaggressions and those prejudices, that's a different scenario altogether. But do not let that stop you from applying for the roles that you want not even ones that you feel like you're not, like that you could be qualified for, just your dream jobs. Like, don't let the fear of prejudice and the fear of racism and the fear of all these other things that you can't control keep you from those things. So at the end of the day, especially when it comes to IT, they need people that can do the job. Like, they can't. You could you could only refer your friend Jared so many times before he crashes the network, because you need somebody who's qualified to do the job, or who has the right thinking, and who's able to explain a process and all those other things.
Yeah, so I'm with him. I'm with him on that. No, I still didn't know if he was feeding the dog or not. So he'll probably see this.
That's how it sounds when I'm feeding my dog.
And tell me he was feeding the dog. No, shouts out to him. Shout out to him. I think like the other really big one I wanted to get into quickly was the Lockheed breach. That's what I had pulled up before I played that. And let me go to that real quick. So Lockheed Martin hit by Iran, F-35 blueprints allegedly stolen. And we can't end without talking about this one, because this week Iran didn't just hack email accounts. They went after one of the most critical defense contractors in the United States. A pro-Iran hacking group called APT, Iran claimed on March 23rd that they breached Lockheed Martin, the largest U.S. defense contractor making of the F-35, the F-22, and the THAAD missile system, and stole 375 terabytes of data. Their claimed haul includes F-35 fighter jet blueprints and other sensitive corporate documentation. They're not demanding $400 million, framed as the cost of building 4 F-35 fighters, to not sell the data to U.S. adversaries. That's crazy.
Bye.
Multiple security firms, Flashpoint, Checkpoint, Helicon, and Palo Alto Networks, have all commented on the claims. Lockheed Martin acknowledged the reports with a statement confirming confidence in their robust, multi-layered information system. I love the term robust. People always try to use that for their network when it's supposed to be fancy. Then separately, the Iran-linked Handala Group, the same one that breached Kash Patel's Gmail, posted data on 28 senior Lockheed Martin engineers linked to F-35, F-22, and THAAD programs. They gave engineers a 48-hour ultimatum to stop their work and threaten their families. Both attacks are still being investigated. The scale of the claimed breach hasn't been independently verified, but the context: the U.S. and Israel conducted strikes against Iran this week. Handala stated explicitly these attacks are retaliations for the U.S. military actions. The cyber front of the Iran conflict is very active right now. 375 terabytes, F-35 blueprints, a $400 million extortion demand. Even if half of this turns out to be inflated, the other half is a national security crisis. Iran is not trying to quietly exfiltrate intelligence anymore. They're making noise, posting publicly, threatening employees directly. That's a different threat posture. Part espionage, part psychological operation. Cybersecurity and national security are not separate domains. They never were. But the events of this week make that possible to ignore. And what I think Iran is doing is, it's kind of what we talk about in boxing. They are bullying the bully. Mm-hmm. So, okay, you think you're finna walk up on me? I'm finna step to you. I'm gonna make you fight. And so I'm gonna take the fight out of you because you didn't think I was gonna come at you like this, because you probably took me lightly. So they are bullying the bully. And this is alleged right now, but I think some truth to it. I know some people that used to work at Lockheed, and like most of these government factions, they are all outdated in tech, even though they claim to be so secure. But like I said, I feel like a lot of the stuff could be insider threat and other stuff of how they are not catching stuff. If this actually happened, this is crazy. And y'all need to fix on how y'all turning down people that want to work for y'all, and y'all ain't trying to pay them. Y'all gonna have to up the salaries, and y'all can get better talent. That's the biggest issue I think that they facing right now. Decide.
Yeah. I'm gonna just not get too political with it, but I agree with you.
I think the last one that's always riveting is it's not long, so perfect. Yeah, let's do this. I think we have like a couple, like 2 more. Yeah, can't get a job in Dallas and that. Yeah, so 2 more, and then I think we are Like out of
From WGU, and I work at the top company in the United States for my field. No, I do not work in help desk. I do not have an entry-level job. I do not work in customer service. My master's degree from WGU was not my first degree. My first degree was at a classic brick and mortar university. I also have 18 additional hours at another classic brick and mortar university. And here's what I want you to know about programs like WGU or online schools. Number one, make sure you're going to one that's accredited, that's always been accredited, and is not at risk of losing their accreditation. Two, these programs are especially good for people who already have professional experience. Employers are not turning down candidates with degrees from online schools if they have the skills and necessary experience they need to do the job. It literally doesn't matter. Half of my colleagues have degrees from online schools. If you are going into this school from scratch, bachelor's into a new field, then you need to make sure that you are doing internships, you're networking, you're doing clinicals, whatever it is to get said in real life experience. If you're starting coursework in a new field, you also need to seriously reconsider accelerating. Acceleration is for people who already have the background content knowledge of the field that they're in. If you've been a banker for 20 years and now you're just getting an official accounting degree, yes, you can absolutely skim Intro to Banking Foundations 101. You already know that stuff. But if you've never had an IT job, you do not need to skim, or accelerate through those foundational courses, even if you can. I know it saves you money, but in the long term, when you're unable to get a job, it won't save you money then. These programs are what you make them, and they really rely on you to have something else to go with the degree. I think the expectation that you can sign up for one of these schools, finish a master's degree in 3 months, and then just jump into a non-entry level job is literally insane. However, as someone who did a master's degree in 13 months and jumped into an advanced job a month and a half later, it can be done. You just need experience and skills to go along with your degree. I hope this helps.
As you say, what you say, she ate down?
She chewed, she swallowed. Yep, she ate it up. Love that video.
Yeah, and she said everything we always say.
Literally, and every educational experience does not have to be $1 million experience, $100,000 experience. You can spend thousands and achieve those same things. It might take you, let me take, because y'all are so literal. You can achieve similar things doing lesser work if you know how to be strategic and position yourself in the things that you want to do. I'm so happy that she made that video, because people poop on WGU all the time, and nobody ever talks about it from the perspective of people who already are experienced and I've been in the field. You know what I mean? I've been in the field. I'm just doing this to level myself up. My employer gonna pay for it. It's an easy win for me. Why would I not go in and self-pace the workout when I know most of the content that's in this course, or the track is what I'm trying to say. I'm not, y'all know I'm an advocate for higher education. It's not for everybody, but I'm happy that she made that video, and thank you for creating that video so we could talk about it.
No, for sure. And I think like the biggest thing I actually want to touch on real quick is she talked about the benefit of, like, you already know the stuff, speed past it. If you don't, learn it, because I think that's the biggest issue. And it goes into what we were talking about with the Capella degree. It wasn't necessarily it was from Capella. It was like, hey, for 10 days, I wrote 10-page papers, and she said like 36 days, got a master's. So I think that was it really is not an issue, but if all you did is write papers, is like, I guess, how much practicality did you have with your degree program? And so, like, doing everything so fast is like, you may not get your chance to yourself a chance to soak it in, and you could take your time a little bit if you don't have any experience, because you can land that internship where they only want to give it to you if you're in school. If you're not in school, you got to probably try to find an apprenticeship, and those are like few and far between. And I like that she also brought up, like, you need to be networking if you don't have experience. So she brought up everything that somebody should really take heed to if they are doing online school. It's definitely a benefit, because the cost factor is like the biggest one. A lot of companies not going to care like where you got it from. They want to know, like, can you do the work, or do you meet what we're trying to hire for, like, at this level? But like she also said, unrealistic expectations. Hey, I'm gonna take this degree, get in 3 months, and I'm finna get this, advanced role and make all this money. And she was like, yeah, that's just totally unrealistic. So I'm happy that she actually, like, just kept it real and kept it a bean with everybody. I had another one. It was like a a young lady who was talking about she couldn't get a job in Dallas because she couldn't speak Spanish or something. But I just feel like, I don't know. I wanted to get into it, but I don't think it's really going to add too much value outside of like just laughing at it. Yeah, and we didn't touch on the ClickFix thing, but I'll touch on that another time. I think we blessed the good people here tonight with a lot of interesting info and spirited
Hey guys,
conversations.
can I tell them when your birthday is?
Sure.
Are you want me to be quiet?
I don't care.
Okay, so HD birthday is tomorrow. So make sure y'all show him some love in the chat today and tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Shout out to my host, the CEO, the founder of your favorite podcast. Happy early birthday to you. Period.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be 25. So y'all definitely can send $25 super chats.
Screaming.
So send the super chats in. I want to make sure that appreciate that more time. Hey, shout out to you, March 31st. Matter of fact, I think Kenneth's birthday is the 31st. Matter of fact. Yeah.
Happy early birthday, Ken.
You know, it's big Aries season. So shout out to us. The know-it-alls and always getting on people. Appreciate that, Justin Williams, man. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for the love. I wanted to actually talk to y'all the day before the birthday so we can technically. I had more time. I was gonna say this is gonna be the birthday stream. We probably could have came here with some. Look behind you.
Oh wait, we can put the hats on.
No, that's only your hat.
No, I put them over here.
You did?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just gonna put it on top of my head like this. Let's see if it fit.
Oh, my hair's so big they can't see. Happy birthday, HD.
Look at this. We should have had these on from the.
We should have put them on. We had these on when we filmed episode 200. Was y'all here? Did you see them? Did you like them? Tell us.
This is like a rhino.
Because you got it sitting up top.
I want to do this like when you was going off.
No, you should have, because I would have been on the floor.
But you was going so fast.
I was.
Like, but no, I appreciate y'all. It's getting late. Some of y'all it's like 10 o'clock where you're at. Some of y'all gotta go to work tomorrow. I don't have to go to work tomorrow or the whole week. So yeah, just tap in with me. You can leave some super thanks when you come in into the platform. But like I said, until next time. He said I would have said more, but the way my bank account set up. Nah, I appreciate what you said, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. And until next time, we out. Peace.